Marcelo Costa de Andrade, also known as the Vampire of Niterói, is a Brazilian vampirist-type pedophilic, hebephilic, necrophilic, and cannibalistic serial killer, serial rapist, and stalker. Born to poor immigrants from the northeast region of Brazil, Andrade lived most of his childhood in Rio de Janeiro. He was constantly abused and beaten by his father, who was also violent towards his mother, a housekeeper. Andrade was eventually sent to live with his grandparents, who were also abusive and violent. Years later, he traveled back to Rio de Janeiro and began to live with his abusive step-parents. To make the situation worse, Andrade was raped and almost killed by an older man who tried to strangle him. He was then sent to a boarding school, where he was bullied. At the age of 14, Andrade was kicked out of the boarding school, and he subsequently began to work as a prostitute. During that time, Andrade tried to commit suicide, but failed. After escaping from the Funabem, a prison for juvenile delinquents, he met with another homosexual man and began to live with him, but continued his prostitution. He eventually left his partner and returned to live with his family, leaving prostitution to work as a pamphleteer. Andrade frequented church and was told by a preacher that children go to heaven when they die. As a result, this sparked an interest in killing children, as he believed that killing adults was wrong because he would be sending them to hell. According to his mother, Andrade had a strange habit of listening to an audio recording of his younger brother crying. Andrade's first victim was an unnamed boy who was strangled with his t-shirt and had his teeth and shorts removed, with the shorts being taken as a trophy. Andrade proceeded to kill many other children, including Oder dos Santos. Andrade met Santos at a bus stop and invited him to come to his house so his aunt could give him money. However, he took Santos to an abandoned football field, where he raped and strangled him to death. After killing him, he went to his house and convinced his mother to give him a machete. He then returned to the field and decapitated the body with it. His last known victims were Ivan and Alter de Medeiros. Andrade promised to give them money, and the brothers followed Andrade to a beach, where he tried to kiss Ivan while he was asleep, but Alter intervened. In response, Andrade smashed Alter's head against a rock and forced him to watch his brother being raped and strangled to death. In fright, Alter agreed to do whatever Andrade said. Andrade fell in love with the boy because of his passive personality and green eyes. He took Alter to a gas station, where he cleaned the boy's wound, and they both spent the night at a forest behind the station, where Alter was repeatedly raped by Andrade. The next day, Andrade took Alter to his workplace, where the latter managed to escape. He returned to his home, but did not tell anything to his mother, fearing she would beat him. The police eventually learned about Alter's encounter with Andrade, and, well, he took them to Andrade's workplace. There, they found him just sitting in a chair and eating a packed lunch. After being arrested, Andrade said that he waited for the police to come and arrest him. He also claimed that the sex with Alter was consensual. Sadly, because of the trauma he had suffered at the hands of Andrade, Alter subsequently became very ill and died. In his house, police found the machete that Andrade used to dismember Santos's body. He eventually confessed to raping and murdering other children. At the time of his arrest, Andrade was compared to fellow serial killer and cannibal Jeffrey Dahmer. He was then diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, schizophrenia, a low IQ, and psychopathic tendencies along with other severe mental illnesses. He was declared not guilty by reason of insanity and is currently being held at the Henrique Roxo Psychiatric Hospital. I did not notice if he was alive or dead when I ravished him. It could not satisfy me. I squeezed his throat once more to ensure that his soul went to heaven. Before attacking, Andrade would stalk some of his victims for an unknown amount of time because they reminded him of himself as a child. His victims were lower-class boys aged 6 to 13 because he stated that young boys were beautiful and had a soft skin. He would then lure the boys to non-populated areas such as beaches, hills, or sewer tunnels. There, he would rape and strangle them, mostly with their own t-shirts. Alternatively, he would smash their heads with rocks to drink the blood coming out of it, thinking he would become beautiful like them. After killing them, he would take their clothing as trophies and sometimes engage in acts of cannibalism and necrophilia with the bodies. He would also return to the crime scenes and bring food with him in order to feed his victims' spirits. According to him, he once cut off the head of one of his victims' bodies, so he could be bullied in heaven by other children. Now, he has been spending his time at the Henrique Roxo Psychiatric Custody and Treatment Hospital in Rio de Janeiro, working and writing letters. For over 10 years, he has been working as a cleaner, cleaning the floors of the prison.
Did you know this bizarre true story? Like, comment and share this video. See you soon, guys.